Have you ever heard a song or smelt a scent, or you were in a place or saw something that immediately triggered some emotions? It immediately triggered a physical response. If so, that means you may have some trauma that you haven't processed through yet. When we've experienced trauma, whether it was a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, if we haven't processed that, simply hearing, seeing, smelling certain things can bring someone right back to that place as if it were happening now. And there's some brain research to go with that. So when we experience trauma, the amygdala is part of our brain. And if you've researched trauma before, you know that's a very popular part of your brain that we talk about when it comes to trauma. And the amygdala is really the emotional memory center of your brain. And so it really acts almost like, think of it like a smoke detector. You know, I might be driving down the road and a song comes on the radio, and it's a song that I heard during a traumatic event. That amygdala is, if you haven't processed that trauma, that amygdala is going to work like a smoke detector and go off and be like, warning, warning, you are in danger. And from that, your body's going to start going into that physical response, right? It could be rapid heart rate. It could be knots in your stomach. It could be feeling shaky. It could be feeling like you're going to shut down. So that's why it's super important, regardless of the therapy type that you choose to pursue. You know, it's always important to find what works best for you. But that's a little why I've talked to people and they're like, why when I hear this song, like I revert back to that person at that time that experienced trauma. And what I share with people is that means you may have not processed through that trauma. And processing trauma doesn't mean you have to dig back all the way back into the history and relive everything again. One of the modalities of therapy is called EMDR, and it stands for eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. So in EMDR, we don't have to talk about the why, the what exactly happened. We don't have to dig all the way back. It's simply processing it out. In EMDR, in the trainings they talk about, it's like watching a train pass by. You just let it process. You don't have to stop. You don't have to get on and off. It's simply processing that trauma and just letting it go.